interesting report, and the trend is also very good for the hiring situation. Please highlight the situations of this report also, first of all, and then let's discuss further.
Sure, thank you. So we released the intent to hire report last week, talking about the hiring trends for July, August, September, the current quarter. And please note that this intent to hire is also for replacements, because last 2 quarters, the attrition levels are at all-time high across all industries, mainly IT, commerce industries like this. So many of these open positions are also replacements as well as new jobs. So some of the key trends that we have noticed is that the new hirings are largely happening in large metros and cities. The small towns and rural areas are still lagging behind. In terms of functional roles, sales, marketing, IT and technology, engineering, those profiles are on high demand. And in terms of industries, again, it's IT, retail, essential, banking, financial services, FMCG. So these are the industries that have the maximum intent to hire. Having said that, there are few industries where we have seen a little bit of slowness, like manufacturing and infra, electric vehicles. So those are some of the industries where we have seen some sort of slowness. And we expect that this trend would continue till the festive season for Q2 and Q3 as well. And the hirings will be at the current trends overall.
Okay. Ma'am, let us know more about the intent. As you have highlighted in the report that intent of hiring is increasing very sharply. Particularly, I would like to understand is that in IT, we are seeing there is a large amount of attrition. Some startups, IT startups have also done some layoffs. So how is this thing justifying? And in particular, IT sector, how are you looking at them?
Sure. So we are measuring the intent to hire in terms of number of open positions that these companies and industries are posting us. And these open positions, as I mentioned, some of them can be just backfilling of the voluntary attrition that has been led over the last 2 quarters, and can be the new positions as well. So within IT and startups, what we are currently seeing as a trend is at senior level, the number of hirings have come down. So at mid and senior level, whatever the hirings that have happened over the last 1.5 years, those kind of trends we are not seeing. The maximum hirings are at fresher jobs, entry level jobs. So that's where the maximum open positions are. And again, this is for the current quarter. Maybe by end of this quarter, whether the trends change, or even if the companies have given the open position, so how many do they actually convert into actual hirings is something which we have to wait and watch by end of the quarter.
Okay. Ma'am, basically the situation is that the macro situation is really tough and the inflation is still trying to peak, or we can say is peaking right now. So the hiring intent, one, and second, in the other hand, international scenario is still a little bit discussion of recessions are also there in US. So how do we justify this, and how do we see the international business and Indian business?
Yeah. Now, firstly, on inflation, you made a very valid point because the inflation over the last 12 to 18 months, it was very high in terms of salary hikes and annual appraisals. So that is now tapering off. So this year, we expect the annual salary inflation to be at the pre-COVID levels. So nothing unusual this time. And in terms of the overall US economy or the other early recession trends that we are talking about, so that may to some extent very few industries, maybe like IT and investor funded companies and other startups. But otherwise, the traditional industries, the brick and mortar companies, we are seeing very good demand. And many of these industries during COVID, they have let go a lot of employees, a lot of layoffs have happened. And those positions are now getting backfilled. So I think that's also because the discussion is kind of taken away by the IT industry, with some of the large companies declaring their results today and for the rest of the week. But otherwise, outside of IT, the traditional industries, we are seeing very good numbers and hirings happening. A simple example like retail, hospitality, tourism, these industries over the last 2 years, they let go a lot of employees. And this is now we are seeing the momentum getting picked up. Same with manufacturing, engineering. So those we are seeing the momentum getting picked up now.
Okay. Other thing I would like to understand is that the wage hike scenario in IT industry, we have seen always first quarter of these companies has a huge impact of wage hike. Also, people are leaving more, as we see in the attrition rate in IT industries. So far, we have seen TCS and HCL Tech numbers, and that indicates that attrition is really high. In this situation, how are you looking at them, and how are you looking at the skilled people? Because they are having new opportunities here and there, and that is the reason the attrition rate is so high.
Yeah. So firstly, the attrition rate is very high and salary inflation is high, mainly in IT, because there is a huge gap between demand and supply, especially last 2 years within IT. That has led to this high inflation and salary hikes. Otherwise, for rest of the industry, see, for India has always been a high inflation country. So for us, 6 to 8% annual salary hikes and salary inflation is nothing unusual. So it's in the normal course. So in non-IT side, we are seeing similar trends in inflation around 8% odd. IT is unusually high, that we also agree, but we are seeing that also tapering off. So this year, even IT will more or less would come down to what it used to be, about 8 to 10% of salary inflation. And that too, as I mentioned, the large number of hirings happening at junior level. So there, the inflation, the salary levels are now kind of settling down.
Okay, definitely. And lastly, I would like to know more about the hiring scenario and the margins of our company. How are you looking at them? How are the scenario of freshers hiring? And we have seen that finally, after COVID's 2 years, students are also out there looking for more opportunities. That scenario also, please explain, ma'am.
Sure. So for us, a large number of our associate employees are 0 to 3 year experience. So we do a lot of fresher hiring. So for us, I mean, post-COVID, the recovery and overall the interventions that we have taken at our end, our hiring capabilities have improved substantially. And we are hopeful of kind of doing a headcount addition, which is similar to last year. I don't want to talk anything specific about company performance since we are in silent period about margins or overall. But the upcoming festive season as well as the current quarter, the entry-level hirings, which we cater to, are very good.
Okay, definitely. So one more last thing, the intent to hire, it's the main focus area of this report. Do you see it increasing further for particularly India and for other region as well, ma'am?
We are covering only India, and as of now, we are seeing that trend going up because attrition levels are high and new industries are also opening up positions, and the upcoming festive season is also a great job opportunity for fresher hiring and entry-level hiring. So we are very hopeful of next couple of quarters as well.